Do you get nervous giving speeches or giving a presentation in public, at work, or at school? Then you, my friend, are not alone. This is a very, very common problem, and this is the first of a two-part series where we're going to be looking at presentation anxiety, understanding what it's all about, and how you can get over it. Happy Wednesday, YouTubers. I'm Emma Jane, your life coach on the couch, coming to you from Reroute Your Life. And in this video, we're going to be looking at performance anxiety, and it's a two-part video, so I'll link down below when the second part comes out on Wednesday. But in this video, we're going to be looking at performance anxiety and getting to understand it better. So we're going to be looking at what it is, why we have it, what's going on within our bodies so that we can start to understand how performance anxiety affects us biologically. And I'm also going to be giving you some advice and tools so that you can start to look at how performance anxiety affects you and how you can start to prepare to overcome it. Performance anxiety is basically the anxiety you feel when you have to perform. And this can be anywhere in your life. It could be at home, it could be at family occasions, it could be with friends. It can also be at work or in exams, anytime you have to give some form of oral presentation. And it can happen on a lesser degree or a greater degree. So it could be that you just get nerves, butterflies in your stomach, or your heart beating really fast before you have to go on and give a presentation. Or it can be right at the other end of the scale where you get so nervous and crippled by the thought of having to give an oral presentation that you end up emotional, you end up having anxiety or panic attack, or you end up calling in sick so you don't have to give that oral presentation and letting someone else do it. Now, it's really, really common. This is one of the most important things that you need to know if you suffer with performance anxiety. There's actually been a poll quite recently that says around about 40% of the adults in the US actually suffer with performance anxiety. And even really famous people do it. So look at Gandhi. Gandhi was one of the most renowned public speakers of his age. Yet he actually suffered with acute performance anxiety. When he was a lawyer and he had to first go up against a judge, he got so nervous, so gripped by anxiety that he actually ran out of the courtroom in the middle of the case. And look at how he turned it around. He went to give some of the most memorable speeches of all time. So if Gandhi can do it, you can do it too. Anxiety and fear actually have a purpose. We develop this fight, flight, freeze response as human beings to help us in situations where we're in physical danger. So back in the days of cavemen, if we were being attacked, this physiological response would help us in that situation and help us to survive. What's happening in performance anxiety is that we've transferred this physiological response to a situation which is actually non-threatening. But somewhere in our bodies, we remember this, in our hippocampus, we remember that this feeling of fear puts us in danger, and we trigger our fight, flight and freeze response in a performance situation. It's really important to understand what's going on in your body biologically, what the physical, logical response is happening when we have performance anxiety, because if we can control that biological response, we can overcome our performance anxiety. So we have these two parts in our brain. We have the amygdala and the hippocampus, and you'll have to excuse me, I'm not a scientist, so this is not going to be a very technical explanation, but hopefully it'll give you enough of the basics so that you can understand. So our amygdala is designed to spot danger. And what happens when it sees something that's danger, like a bee, for example? We'll go, okay, there's a bee. Our amygdala then talk to our hippocampus. Well, hippocampus is the area of the brain that is memories. And it will say to the hippocampus, hey, hippocampus, is this bee a dangerous thing? Now, if you've been stung by a bee, or even if you've seen someone be stung by a bee in the past, your hippocampus will remember that and associate it with pain, therefore danger. And it'll go to your amygdala, yes, that's a bee, that's dangerous. And your amygdala then starts to send out an automatic fight, flight or freeze response. And it starts all these different processes within the body that means that our animal brain is taking over because we've gone into survival mode. So when we go into survival mode, what happens is basically our amygdala triggers this auto nervous system response. It sends out cortisol into the body, a stress hormone, which basically lowers our brain functions and means that it's harder to think. At the same time, we have adrenaline coursing through the bodies and our hearts are beating faster, or we're breathing faster. We're getting ready with the adrenaline to either to fight or to run away. And that's why you might feel tingling in your hands, or sort of like your legs feel unrestness, or if you're giving a speech, you find yourself suddenly walking up and down and thinking, what the heck am I doing? And in my case, I've done that where I've been doing it with a computer and I've walked away from the computer and then I need to walk back over with thinking of something to say. It's a self-destructive cycle, right? But basically, when the amygdala takes over, we go into animal thinking and it's really hard to get back in control. Now, this is known as the amygdala hijack because it's basically the amygdala taking over your entire body. But one of the great things about this is if we use different emotional intelligence tools, we can actually take control of this biological function and calm ourselves down very, very quickly so that we can give the presentation and continue to the best of our abilities. In order to reclaim your body and to take back your body from the amygdala hijack, you need to know two very important things, and you need to become very conscious about your anxiety. So the first is the physical triggers. What does your anxiety trigger within your body? The physiological response that you have. And the second is the pre-anxiety. What signs do you show that you're on your way to having performance anxiety? And I would suggest actually writing down a list of the triggers. So think about a situation that you've been standing up in front of people and you've been gripped by performance anxiety, or a situation before the performance where performance anxiety has gripped you. And think about not your emotions, think about your physical responses to that anxiety situation and make a list. It could be heart palpitations, it could be sweaty hands. There's lots of different ones. So just pause the video for a second and make a list of all the different physiological responses you have to performance anxiety. There's lots of different signs that anxiety can be on the way. And this is known as pre-anxiety. So you can actually split anxiety into three distinctive parts. You can have pre-anxiety, anxiety when you're actually in the performance, and then post-performance anxiety. We'll have a look at the other two in the next video. In this video, I want you to have a look at the pre-anxiety because this is the signs that anxiety is on its way, and it's easier for us to take control of the body in the pre-anxiety stage than it is in the anxiety stage. So what signs show you that you're starting to get anxious, that you're starting to experience performance anxiety? It could be like me, that you become really, really grumpy and bite everybody's heads off, you're more irritable. Or it could be that you can't sleep, or that you have repetitive negative thoughts. You could be more emotional. You could suddenly find yourself crying at a cartoon that you read in the newspaper that normally wouldn't get to you at all. There can be lots and lots of different things. Agitation. So what are your signs that anxiety is on the way? What I want you to do is think back to a situation where you have experienced performance anxiety and have a look a few days before. Do you have any signs that showed you were starting to experience performance anxiety? And if you can't remember, ask your partner, ask your friends, ask your parents. See if you can help your network, help you identify the common signs that you have that anxiety is on the way. So now you know what performance anxiety is, that you're not alone with it. You know why we have anxiety, why we've actually got this system within our body to defend ourselves. And you know exactly how your body responds to anxiety and exactly what signs you have that anxiety is on the way. But what you need now is a battle plan. You need some tools, you need some tricks to help you recover your body from the amygdala hijack, take back control and be able to give that amazing performance. And that's what I'm going to be bringing to you in next week's video. There's going to be some of my favorite tools and tricks and how-tos of getting through performance anxiety so that you can give an amazing presentation. So keep your eyes out for that one, but in the meantime, if you want to have a look on my blog, I'll link some different articles that I've written about performance anxiety down below, so you can check those out before Wednesday. And please tell us about your anxiety. Have a look, tell us what your triggers are down in the comments below, because we all have this. And when we start to look at it, when we start to be conscious around it, and we start to be open about it, we can see that everybody else is in the same boat, and believe me, that does really help make performance anxiety less of a trauma and more of a normality. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to come over to our Facebook group and join in the community over there, and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell so that you can find out when the next video is up and get your anxiety battle plan tips. But until Wednesday, take care of yourselves and don't forget, enjoy your journey.